Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. I'm Rachel Hicks. If there's one thing that people, families, communities and businesses around the UK will agree on today, it's that public services are underfunded and that local councils and governments must improve them. But after years of lockdowns, inflations, skyrocketing energy prices and the heavy tolls of climate change, the options are limited. And if there's one thing that people will disagree on, it's how to fix a problem. From highways to waste management and housing, one point of friction is whether we should insource services, where councils deal with issues internally with their existing staff, or outsource them to an external specialist. The advocates of insourcing believe public supervision gives local authorities greater control. The outsourcers claim that only a business-orientated leadership will be motivated to bring efficiency and innovation to these services. Norse Group, an organisation with 30 years of experience, is bringing quality services to communities nationwide. It says that a fresh model can bring the best of both worlds, the responsibility and the efficiency that our communities and their representatives need. How does this model work? Let's hear from CEO Justin Galliford. Justin, in an ideal world, what does the ideal public service look like?
Ideally, public services are flexible and they're cost efficient. In the ever-changing world we live in, it's really important services can adapt to whatever your customers need. And of course, in the current climate, cost efficiency is also, it's really important that you can manage costs on a continual basis.
And of course, costs are continually challenging councils. We hear it in the news almost every week. And we've all lived with often a very different experience.
Yes.
We've had the pandemic, we've had austerity measures, the cost of living crisis, of course. So is there any real hope for genuine improvement?
I think it's increasingly important we look beyond cost and we think about the way we design services and the way that we collaborate with our partners. So really our approach is about, of course, being really focused on cost, but also considering how we can co-design a service with our customers and also how we can make it flexible so that it responds to the needs of customers and residents. And of course, ultimately, that helps us manage costs better.
So you're talking about co-designing for a better service. Can you tell us a bit more about how a joint venture like that would work?
Well, many of our customers talk to us about the need to evolve a service when they're interested in partnering with us. So what we'll do at the early stages is sit down, look at their strategic objectives and take the service right back to basics and say, how could we design something to deliver it better? An example might be how we deliver our waste collection services. So we might help a customer change the way they collect waste. So perhaps they might collect recyclables and food waste, whereas before they only collected recyclables. So building it in right from the outset to make sure that whatever we deliver, again, has that flexible approach, but really gets to the heart of the challenges they're trying to meet, whilst keeping an eye on cost as well.
Could you give us some detail perhaps on what the benefits of working like that are?
I think that there's lots of benefits. A really important benefit is that our partners maintain a really high degree of control, at least the same level of control they would have had if they'd kept the service in-house. And of course, many of our partners actually have had services fully contracted out, so may feel they've lost an element of that control. So we help bring that back. They're also really flexible, so we can make sure that they keep changing as, again, customers' needs change over time, whether that's the kind of challenges we've had to meet over recent years, like adapting to COVID, or looking at different things such as hybrid working and what that's meant, or more longer-term strategic aims, changes in government policy that our authority customers have to respond to. But what's really important is that our model gives transparency. So when we're designing a service, we'll work right from the outset with them to build a cost base up very transparently so that our partners understand how the costs that we will look to charge are formed and can help shape those and challenge them along the way. So that helps build confidence and trust.
So let's talk about specifically how the Norse Group works with communities around the country. Tell me about that.
We try to be a really active member of the communities within which our services take place. So we've got a growing ESG agenda, environment and social governance agenda, where we look to try and invest back into the communities in which we work. And of course, we support our staff as best we can on their development journeys, as well as having that increasing focus on the E within ESG and net zero ambitions from both our customers and also from our staff as well.
So which public services do you offer?
There's quite a wide range of services within the group. We'll cover frontline facilities management services. We'll also look at professional property design services through our property arm, Norse Group. And then we've got a specialist care element which provides adult care in both a housing with care and specialist dementia care settings.
Okay, so you clearly have a comprehensive range of services. What's the process if you're going to start working with a council, and how long is the typical agreement with them?
The process is quite an iterative one. Normally it starts when a customer shows a bit of interest. We'll go and meet them, we'll talk to see if what we offer aligns with what our ambitions are, and then really we'll move into an early due diligence phase where we'll touch on some of the elements I outlined earlier about understanding what the service might look like as we co-design it, building up an outline cost so that partners can check that against other options that might be available to them. And then if they feel that that's the right option for them, they'll take it through their own political process, and we will begin to develop a mobilisation plan. And along the way, as part of that mobilisation, we'll form a company, we'll set up the relevant legal agreements, and we'll begin to talk to the staff, because ultimately the staff are at the heart of what we do. We're a people business, because services are all about good people. So we have to make sure that the staff come on the journey with us and really feel empowered to deliver better services once they work through the process and either leave the council or their current employer to join us in our new company.
And how flexible are you? Once you've started working with an authority, can they switch from delivering one service to another without too many repercussions?
The arrangements are very flexible. We don't build in expensive variation notices. We like to keep a very broad approach to the way in which we deliver services. And indeed, some of our most successful partnerships, the ones that have gone on the longest, have started with one set of services and grown to quite a wide range of services, really covering the full spectrum of services that the group can support people with.
We know that there is a lot of work that needs to be done in some services across the country. There's been a decline that needs to be reversed. What are your expectations for the next 5 to 10 years? What do you hope will happen?
Well, I mean, I think in general, the public sector sees some real cost challenges over the next 5 to 10 years. At the same time, you see a contraction perhaps from private sector supporting certain elements of public sector with service delivery. So I think we're going to see more authorities looking to take services fully in-house themselves, or indeed work in partnership through the type of model that the Norse Group offers. And I think that's going to lead to a lot more co-design and co-collaboration. And whilst at the moment we really work with local authorities to do that, increasingly I can see the ability for us to work multi-agencies, so perhaps with some elements of a charitable sector or other elements of regulatory bodies, as well as local authorities, to design and deliver services in a joined up way over the next 5 to 10 years.
Justin Galliford from the Norse Group.
Thank you.